welcome to the Shark Bite Show, where we dive into the stories of our members, coaches, friends, and family of Shark Bite Fitness and Nutrition. All right, let's roll.
All right, guys, welcome to the Shark Bite Show. Today I am here with Adam and Dez Muir. There are a couple who run a fitness center called 352 Fitness, or CrossFit 352, up in Gainesville, Florida. They're also coaches and players on a team in the Florida Grid League, the Gainesville Wild. They've been friends of mine for a couple of years, and we're going to just dive into a whole host of stuff. So, guys, thank you very much for doing this.
Yeah, thank you.
Thanks for having us.
Yeah, no problem. So let's start with the two of you talking more than me. Who are you guys? What are your backgrounds? Des, let's have you go first.
Okay. I started CrossFit when I was about to turn 30, and I was like, oh no, I'm not in shape anymore. Like I used to be in college, so I need to find something. So I had moved to Florida to work at University of Florida and just kind of looked at the local CrossFit gyms and started. And I had no idea that CrossFit was even a competitive thing. I thought it was just a regimen to use your whole body to work out. And I instantly fell in love with it. And then later I learned that there was this whole other group of people who are actually good at CrossFit. Like I thought I was like good at CrossFit, right? Because I started and you like get a deadlift PR every week and you're like, I can do a pull-up now. And then it's like, oh, there's like people who are actually good at CrossFit. But that was just sort of a very like, it's a very humbling thing when you start to say and you're like, oh man, like I'm killing it. And you're like, no, but it's cool that it's for everybody. And I'm talking too much.
Okay. You're going to talk a lot. Don't worry.
Okay. Yeah, I don't know. So I've been doing CrossFit since, what year is that? 2013.
Yeah.
And then we met at that gym, and then we started this gym in 2014, and we have been here ever since. And it's been a fun process. And I somehow switched from just wanting to work out to being more of a competitive athlete, and he sort of like did the opposite. So you say your part now.
Yeah. So I started 2011. I grew up in Gainesville. I was at UF. I happenstance had someone tell me about CrossFit when I was working at a restaurant. I'm like, oh, it's this awesome group fitness thing. And I'm like, okay, group fitness. Yeah, go for it. And then I remember specifically one night I was at work and ESPN was on, the CrossFit Games came on, and I saw that. And before I saw the title, I was like, what the hell is this? Like, I want to do this. And it was very vividly Chris Spieler pushing the dog sled. I remember it down the tennis stadium. And the name came up and I was like, dang. So went out, signed up. So I got into it as a competitor, someone looking, I've grown up playing sports all my life. So it was something that I want to do as a competitive outlet. So I got into it more with that. Then as time went on, I started to coach. I was in college, so it was easy to transition to that coaching role. And as I grew into the sport and kind of learned the ins and outs of running a gym, or what I thought were the ins and outs of running a gym at the time, I had no idea. I decided to change my career path. So I was on the path to doing EMT, firefighting, and all that good stuff. And then in 2014, like Des said, it was decided to take the leap of faith, and we started the affiliate, and we haven't looked back since. So it was awesome. It's really changed my life and, where I thought it would be over the last 7 years of it now. And it's been great. So I started, like I said, like Des said, as the competitive side. I did one match of grid go well. I'm definitely, I enjoy it just for the training more. And now it's just trying to be a daily part of my life, like, in and out, try to work out at least every day or every other day,
And that was going to be my next question was, you both just talked about how you decided to open up the gym. How do you make fitness a priority for yourselves? Because you're both very busy people.
That's tough. So for me, I want to lead by example. So I try to fit in workouts when I can. The members always make fun of me because I say they never see me working out. Because I'm usually coaching or I'm not. So I'll usually try to get it in mid-afternoon. Lately, I've been going swimming early in the morning, so that's been nice. And then just hopping in a class every so often maybe. And that's pretty much it. But, for her, it's a little more, I don't know, intense, I guess to say.
It's just a little more structure. We both have a personal trainer. Kyle Ruth is our personal trainer from Training Think Tank. So I have usually programmed an hour to 2 hours of work. So I have to usually do it before I go to my job to go to work. So I come here in the morning. I'm a morning workout person for sure, especially I'm not from Florida, I'm from Pennsylvania. So once it starts getting hot, I'm out. Like I'm a fair weather exerciser. I need it to not be 110 degrees. So the morning is a great option for that. The sun's not up yet. We're not roasting. So I typically work out before work, and then I go to work. And then if I have a nighttime session, I do that at night, again, when the sun is down and my fans are on.
Yeah, Des, we're going to talk a bunch about your job, but we're not bringing it up yet because I want to spend a whole bunch of time on that.
Yeah.
So what do you guys offer at your gym? Because I know it's not like a normal 24-hour style. Here's some machines, kind of do what you can. Talk to me about 352 Fitness and CrossFit 352.
So we offer a few different things. Our main focus is definitely the CrossFit group classes. That's our bread and butter. That's where we started. That's where I learned to love fitness, was teaching those classes. So it's definitely something that we like to focus on, constantly varied or constantly, but I can't remember it. Constantly very high intensity functional fitness is definitely.
There's a quiz later.
Yeah. Yeah, no, I definitely believe in it. And like Des said, I believe that, functional fitness is really for everyone, whether you're looking to be a competitor, whether you're looking to just stay fit. It's all dependent on one, your level, second, your goals, and third, who your coach is, right? If you go into a gym and they're just on their phone, not paying attention, and the quality of coaching is not there, then you're not going to get what you've come to get from that gym. It's very important to have a high quality coach and coaches that just want to care and pay attention to you. So long story short, we offer the group classes. We do some personal training, some remote coaching, and then Des does the HSN nutrition work with our clients.
Cool. Yeah. So you do personal training and distance coaching or remote coaching as well, right?
Yep.
So I think Des talked to me about this a little bit before the episode, but like in 2020, we were shut down because of COVID, and people were all over the world. Florida for us wasn't shut down nearly as long as it was probably for most of the people not in our state, right? How did you guys handle that situation? Because I think that's kind of where personal training came from, right?
Yeah. So, we kind of saw the writing on the wall. We knew there was going to be a shutdown occurring, just as most of the US knew that there's going to be something happening. So the first thing we did was we prepared to just lend out our equipment to our members. We had a sign up list. We would have them come in either to the gym. We ended up, I think, actually doing it at our house just so we could avoid issues with the city. But they'd come one at a time. They'd have their scheduled appointment. They'd pick up some equipment that they want for the week, and then they would go on to work out and bring it back the following week. So that's kind of, we did like online classes as well. So that's kind of where we brought the gym to the members. Then also we started our Valkyrie programming, which was the remote coaching. Her and I had both been involved with Kyle Ruth for at least a year by then. So we kind of knew what it was like to be coached remotely. In fact, we've never met Kyle in person. So, the whole relationship between us has been remote. So I felt comfortable. I ended up getting my OPEX certification, or starting it then during the quarantine. And that was a huge help. Really showed me how to program and handle remote athletes. OPEX did a great job of actually shifting their educational stuff towards more remote stuff, especially since it's COVID. They took down the requirements of having in-person clients to doing it all remote. So that helped me a lot, kind of launched me into the remote coaching program. And then we've slowly tried to grow it from there. We've got a few of our grid athletes doing it. I've got I've had people in Oregon, trying to think where else, a lot all over Florida. Orlando's a big one. So that's kind of where that came from, was the need to continue to grow during the pandemic, and a very easy transition to something.
He really like launched into action when they shut us down, and it was really cool to see. So he said like we lent the equipment out, but it wasn't that simple. Like he organized it into packages. So if you want to focus on the body weight workouts this week, take home these parallettes, this ab mat, and the wall ball. And then if you want to do the weightlifting workout, take home a barbell and these plates, and then there's the kettlebell package. So it was really organized, and they would log on and do their Zoom class and then come trade out equipment. They just had to, schedule a time, and our garage was kind of like fitness prohibition during COVID. And they would just sort of like come with their little stuff, swap it out, and we're like, didn't see you either. So that was pretty cool. And I think it gave people some hope that there was going to be like some normalcy coming soon, not just sitting at home. Like, I have my kettlebell, great. I guess I'll just do 100 snatches. But
so Adam, so do you still do Valkyrie training?
Yeah. So
that's still a service?
Yeah. And it's been kind of taking off. It's not crazy. I'm kind of capped. I think I'm at a dozen clients right now. Mm-hmm. So it kind of is a lot for me to handle between that, the personal training here, then the coaching. I coach about half the classes at the gym. So I've got a pretty full plate. Eventually I'd love to grow the program more. It's just kind of out of the possibility right now.
Who would be an ideal client for that, right? Like if I was looking into getting into fitness, what would make me think that, say, Valkyrie or remote coaching would be good for me?
I mean, I would say the ideal client is someone who really wants to take their fitness into their control, and not a newbie, put it that way. If you've never stepped into a CrossFit gym, if you've never had any kind of coaching, it's definitely doable, but it's going to be there's a lot more obstacles that come along with it. And you've coached, that the hands-on aspect of coaching in person is a big deal, right? You can help people, show people tactile cues, visual and verbal cues. They all work together simultaneously, versus online. It's pretty much, you can do some visual cues, you can send them videos, but it's all pretty much like, hey, try to fix this, just telling them in a paragraph or so. So you don't get instant feedback. That's the thing. Is, I'll prepare for the week. I can see their videos that they submit and the results and everything, but I don't get to be there one-on-one with them. So having someone who has a little bit of experience in the sport or doing CrossFit is definitely, it's ideal for them. And if they have a home gym, it's much easier, way easier.
Yeah, so that's what I wanted to get to, right? So like your remote training is definitely for more of your intermediate athletes, right? Intermediate or advanced athletes. What if you were a brand new person? How would they use 352?
So we actually have someone that just signed on. We take you through a process. You do some workouts, you submit the videos, and from there we kind of start working on small goals that are going to be very elementary style goals of just getting the positioning and the lifts. Most of it will be body weight. If they're brand new, odds are they don't have a full setup of a barbell, the ability to do the Olympic weightlifting. So we're going to work on body weight stuff, mechanics, functionality first. Obviously is, a proper squat technique will take you a lot further than just loading up a bar and doing what you think is a squat.
Probably like the benefits of the group classes are so much bigger for a new person coming in.
Yeah. That
we would always, even if they came in the door saying like, I want personal training, I think we would always try to steer them towards the direction of the group classes, just because we all had that experience of like being a new CrossFitter, a person new to this in the group setting is just what gets you. And it's what makes you want to stay. And then you want to work on your goals from there. But I think missing out on that dynamic would be like, we'd be doing them a disservice to not at least let them know that there is this like other aspect of this that you might absolutely love, even if you're a little bit shy or you're nervous to work out in front of people. You sort of overcome that, I think, like within the first class, truly. So.
Yeah, that's a good feeling. So what do you guys do to help? If I'm a brand new person, I've walked into your gym, what do you do to help people overcome that shyness and that fear to get them feeling comfortable in those group classes? This episode is brought to you by Punch Gunk. Punch Gunk is a pain relief and anti-inflammatory rub. You put it on your muscles, your joints. You're going to feel a whole lot better if you use it. I know that a couple weeks ago, my back was killing me from a deadlift workout. Couldn't bend over without strong discomfort. One of the players convinced me to use some, rubbed it on my back.
About 15 minutes later, I was doing muscle ups and snatches with no pain at all. I absolutely could not believe it, but it's true. They're a supporter of the podcast now. If you want to try it out, go to punchgunk.com, use code SHARKS10. You'll get a discount. This stuff is amazing. It's all over my gym now. The Southwest Florida Sharks and the Florida Grid League use it. Big supporter of it now. Check it out at punchgunk.com. Use code SHARKS10 for a discount.
That's tough. I mean, it depends on the person. I think you really have to, being social, just making them feel accepted is the first part.
There's usually at least one dog that launches at
That
them.
too. That'll
Here. So that's a good.
We're a very dog-friendly gym.
Yeah, dogs make everybody feel more comfortable. So
Always,
I
yeah.
don't know if you've seen our Instagram, but we routinely have a dog running on the assault runner, just on himself and starts running and enjoy.
Not our dog. Our dog's not very disciplined.
But back to the question, yeah, if someone walks in, we're gonna, my goal is to make them feel as comfortable as possible immediately. So, kind of start hanging out with them, asking them some questions like, where they're from, what's their career, what are their interests, why did they want to start CrossFit, and kind of go from there, introduce them to a few people. We'll always have an icebreaker at the beginning of class. If it's a stupid icebreaker, it just makes it even easier for people to feel more comfortable. So it's usually always fun. So that's what really gets them feeling like a part of the team. And then honestly, if they come in on a Saturday, we'll do a group workout, and just giving them that personal connection with someone as a team seems to help a lot more. And I know, like, personally, when I first started, I started in a foundations like one-on-one, and I felt more comfortable with that coach going forward. So I'd go to her classes, and then, I'd learn the other coaches, I'd meet them, and then I'd start branching out to their classes. So if you can get that one or two people that will give them the confidence to say, okay, well, I like this coach, so I'm going to try to come to all their classes. And, oh, I see this person is in the class, they were my first partner, then I'm going to try to come to that class with them. And it just makes it a little bit easier for them to stay on.
And trying to match them up, because you almost always can in a group class kind of match somebody up. Even if they're brand new, you can sort of match them up, even if it's just height wise using the same barbell in the rack. Just you can usually start matching people up pretty well. And I think that's a good way to get them back in there, because that person's going to be asking them when they're coming back, and kind of you get that team camaraderie right in the beginning. And then you can, as a new person, sort of see okay, I'm scared, but they're doing it, and kind of watch what they're doing. And then, this isn't like a Globo gym, so there's not mirrors, but there's other humans to look at where you can watch what other people's movements look like and sort of gain some confidence that way, I think.
Yeah. Do you guys remember that feeling? Try to think back way long ago when you were the brand new person in class and you're like, what am I doing? What is that? Who are you? What is this movement everyone's talking about? I was just teaching a beginner this morning, because we start everybody in one-on-ones, right? I was just teaching a beginner this morning. It was her last day of her one-on-ones before she went to class. And I was telling her a bunch of things. I'm like, look, honestly though, if you don't remember this, it's not that big a deal. Just look at the person in the front of the room. They're going to smile at you. They're going to show you how to do it. You'll be all right. And she was like, oh, thank God.
Yeah, I remember that song.
Yeah, me too. I remember getting partnered up with somebody. When I first found CrossFit, I was young and I was still in the Army, and I looked fit, but I wasn't fit at all. So they partnered me up with somebody who was just worlds better than me, and he wrecked my day.
That's awesome.
Okay, so Dez, I know you said you have personal training, you have group CrossFit classes, we have distance training. Dez, you run a nutrition program, right?
Yes, I do.
Yeah, talk to me about it. What's it called?
It's F352 Nutrition.
There's a trend there. Okay, cool.
That's it. And yeah, it's sort of sprung out of me just sort of looking at where I was at. I was doing CrossFit. I had been doing CrossFit for 5 years, and I had been seeing a lot of positive changes. And then all of a sudden, 5 years in, I plateaued, and I plateaued hard. I was not getting better. I was I had spent 5 years literally out exercising a bad diet, and I really liked that for myself. But it stopped. It was obviously you are 35, get your shit together. It was really, everyone sort of, when you start CrossFit, they're oh, do paleo, or at least that was back then. It was you got to try paleo, and then you got to try macro counting. So I sort of went through the gamut of all the fad diets you could ever try. I stuck with counting macros, and I was doing that on my own, but just not having the accountability of someone to send my numbers to or to check in with. And I knew I was not doing myself a great service by like fitting things in my macros at night. And I just had no sort of consistency with my diet. So I started looking into getting a nutrition coach, and I got one, and I instantly felt I'm just sort of a checklist person. So I felt like I had a duty to check in with her, and that really helped me right away. And I just had such a great experience from that, just knowing that she was going to be like thinking about what I was about to eat. You know what I mean? Like, just, I didn't want to let her down. So I stuck with my diet, and I saw a lot of positive changes. And then I started taking online coaching, and I got like certified by NASM to be a nutrition coach, which only took a few weeks. That was during COVID too. And I love learning, and I love being a perpetual student. And it's one of those things where you start learning, and then you're like, oh my God, I don't know anything. And then you like learn a little bit more, and you're like, oh my God, I don't know anything. Like, you just learn a little bit about how much you don't know every single day. And it's just like, this is never ending. But I think the good thing is that process sort of really translates well to nutrition clients who are also just trying to figure out what to eat and trying to figure out what to do. And I think just being kind of open with my nutrition clients when they have a question I can't answer. The nice thing about working with HSN is, you know what, I have a registered dietitian that I can ask right now, and we can work this out together if I don't know something. But I think I just really like having the accountability of, now I have the accountability of, I have nutrition clients who are looking up to me, sort of thing. So I think that's like extra, not pressure, but just like, I want to make them, proud of me. So now I have not just like one coach, I have like 20 people who are going to be noticing if I'm kind of like falling off. So I have that now. So that's good.
Added pressure and accountability there. So since you guys didn't have that for a long time, and then now you do, right? Like, why do you think it's important for people to take part in nutrition coaching? Because we did the same thing. We didn't used to have one, and then we created a program.
Yeah.
What have you guys learned from that? How does that help your members?
Yeah, I can just see, I like when we sit down and kind of establish our goals, everybody's goal is usually performance based when they come to me, because it's all members from the gym so far that I have. So we can always we can always work on something that you want to improve in the gym if you clean up your diet a little bit. And I think a lot of people didn't realize they weren't drinking like any water all day, and just like stuff that you don't realize you're not doing because you're not writing it down or checking in with anyone. But a lot of the performance-based goals are improved with just improving your nutrition. Like, if you're not eating any vegetables ever, like, we need to adjust that. And it's a lot of just people sort of coming to Jesus moment and like, okay, here's what I ate today. And it's not enough food usually. And I think as soon as people start fueling themselves properly, they can get their goals in here, and they're just overall just so much happier. Not to mention the like body composition changes that always come with it. I think everybody's doing a lot better with reaching their performance goals, which is my ultimate goal, really.
Yeah, that's why when we started our program, I kind of had a similar moment to you, Des. I was like, man, I've been working out a lot, and I'm not getting in better shape. Like, what's going on here, dude? Yeah. And so we like tested out the program behind the scenes, and I was one of the test dummies, and that was like the year before I started playing grid. And pretty drastic change that next year, just from like eating a little bit better and drinking a little more water. So we were like, okay, this has to be like a foundation of what we do from now on, because if I'm only taking it sort of kind of serious, like, we can make some significant change here with people.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay, so this is my personal most important question on this entire call, right? Des, you are a top tier Instagram follow.
Oh, like, thank you.
Yeah. Oh, dude, Instagram is filled with unhappiness, and your account guaranteed to make me laugh at least once per day, right? Yeah. So what is your exact like job title? I don't want to say the wrong thing.
Oh, it's okay. I'm a zoological medicine veterinary technician.
Okay, so for anyone who doesn't have a degree in that and doesn't understand what those words mean, she works with animals all day, but not like dogs and cats, like other cool things. Like reptiles generally?
A lot of reptiles, because it's Florida, so we work at the St. Augustine Alligator Farm, so we take care of those animals out there. And it's a lot of birds and reptiles, but also people have exotic pets, so that's like bunnies and ferrets, and just not cats or dogs, basically. Everything else.
Did you say a bunny is an exotic pet?
Yeah, that's because like cat and dog, like if you go to the small animal hospital, they don't typically see rabbits.
Oh, I didn't know that. Okay. That's news to me.
only see cats and dogs. There's just so many cats and dogs that they can't really also see rabbits. So we have
someone's bringing in like their pet alligator, and then someone's bringing in their rabbit, and like these don't seem the same thing.
and sometimes someone's bringing in their pet rat. Oh, this is one of the things I don't know if I can say. Sometimes someone's bringing in their pet rat, but then I'm also needing to thaw a frozen rat to feed to an eagle and the same.
Oh my God.
So I wash my hands a lot.
What's your favorite part about that job? And is it as much fun as it looks? Because your social media makes it look very fun.
I will tell you that it is a lot of fun. I would not lie and say that it's like not hard at times. And I will also say that I started I don't know when I started Instagram, but I was kind of late in the Instagram life. Like I was already 30 something. So it was already like, is it just too late for me? Like, should I just like live without this? But I sort of like used it as an outlet to do my stories. It's like an outlet because I have this like constant dialogue in my head of what animals are saying, and I needed an outlet for it because I was going to go nuts. So when I'm having a stressful day and just like having a tortoise, having a little conversation with itself, which really cheers me up, and I have an outlet for it now, and I'm glad people like watching it. So that's good. Now I have for my stories.
Yeah, I feel like there's a strong possibility that I'm going to see like you said, a bird of prey staring at me angry, or a random alligator foot put in an awkward position. It's fantastic. So, okay, well, cool. Let's get on to the thing that brought all of us together, right? Because I met you guys through Grid, right? So the Florida Grid League, you two are the owners of the Gainesville Wild. That's a team in the Florida Grid League. Adam, you're the head coach, and like you said, a one-match player, right?
Yes.
One and done. That was it. Dez, you are a player on the team, right? People already know like my story. I'm a coach and a player, right? But talking about yours, like how did you two get into Grid and the league in general?
So, I mean, I've known what the Grid League was since Tony Budding left and they made the National Pro Grid League. And from my understanding, it was just gone, right? I was like, oh, well, that tanked. That sucks. Mm-hmm. Watch. And then one day we actually had a member walk in, and she was somehow associated with the Freaks. She went to Storm's gym previously. I think they had like a Grid 6 team that she was part of. And she was telling me about it. There were the trials happening at the same time. So I think I was seeing it on Instagram. I was like, oh, this is cool. I was like, it'd be awesome to get a team in Gainesville. And she's like, oh, just call the commissioner and he'll get you a team. And I was like, all right. So I don't even know how I got Mather's number. I just got Mather's number, and I think I either called him or he texted him or something. He's like, yeah, so we don't have a team. Like we can't make a new team, but we have a team for sale, which was the Jacksonville Steel. I was like, cool, we'll roll with that. Like, maybe we can rebrand next year. It was right before the season. So he was like, okay, well, we got it all set up. Here's what you got to do. And he's like, just so you know, now you have to put a team of minimum 16 people together. And I was like, okay, how long do I have? He's like, 6 weeks.
And we
all right.
Not understand the assignment.
Oh no.
We were very excited about the assignment, but we did not understand the assignment.
So I got in contact with a couple of the old players from the Steel that had played the previous season. I was like, hey, do you guys want to play again? I think we got 2 people to say yes.
Please play again.
And just Larry. So I was like, all right, well, let's learn this sport together. And then we just kind of pieced together what we could from the trials information and got together what we thought would be a competitive team. We're like, oh yeah, like these people do, like they're RX athletes. They do competitions and they do pretty well in them. Like, we'll be all right.
I'll be in every race. What could go wrong?
That was not the case. These athletes are animals. So we quickly.
He told me I was going to be a strength specialist. And I was like, I don't know what that is, but that sounds awesome. I love being strong. And it took me like 25 seconds on Instagram to determine I would not, in fact, be a strength specialist.
Well, I didn't know. Yep. I thought you would be.
For anyone who's not seeing this right now, Dez is tiny. She's a very small person. There's not many strength specialists her size.
So these women are strong. Like,
yeah,
not strong for women, strong humans.
One of our current strength specialists is a professional strong woman.
Yes, like actually.
In that sense.
So there's that.
We rushed to put together a team.
I'm a utility player. That's the CrossFit one. Got it.
It was interesting. Half the team fell apart halfway through the season. We ended up having, the reason I had to play is because I think we had 4 guys in one match. And then I was like, all right, well, I guess I'm in. And then the next match we had even less. So we had to pick up random players who, one of them now we have still on the team.
Sam Martin.
Yeah. And then we just kind of limped our way through the first season, and then we rebranded as the Gainesville Wild, and COVID hit, but at least I had a whole year almost to recruit. So that kind of helped. And we are the team we are now.
Yeah, I was a
Adam, do you remember me coming up to you at the end of that first season?
Yeah, you were like, I'm sorry, this it gets better. I think you said it gets better. Yeah,
that's what I may have said the sorry part, but I definitely said it gets better because like you guys were a year late, you know. We were on
our games.
Well, we were on our second season, and I was like watching you guys, and I'm like, man, I remember that.
I don't think we broke double digits in a match for points.
One time we finished a race and we were celebrating as though we had won the whole thing, and the other team was like, oh, do they understand? I don't think they do. Like, yeah.
I think we won a relay against the Aces. The first relay we had played, the first match we lost every race if we even finished it.
We didn't finish any.
To the Aces, and then we won the relay.
And we finished the relay.
And we thought we were untouchable.
We won the whole thing.
But it was fun.
Well, so that's probably what makes this so cool, right? Because it's fair to say you guys were not good then, right?
Very more than fair.
Yeah. Now, 3 seasons later, you're on your second straight playoff appearance, right? And you currently have the best record in the league. Like, what changed? How did you accomplish that?
After that season, where we didn't understand the assignment, I think he made it his mission to make sure the team he puts out there makes it very clear that he now understands the assignment. And I think recruiting online and just getting the best players for the best positions and putting people where they need to be.
I think a lot of it was luck. So we had, going back into 2020, like I said, I had a whole year. So I instantly started to recruit as soon as the 2019 season was over. I was like, never again will I embarrass us like that. So I started to recruit. I had a few people that were interested, and then the trials happened, and we ended up finding Blake. And that was a big signing because Blake led to a few other people who led to a few other people. So it was just kind of almost a referral-based program. So I didn't have to go nearly as deep into the roster of the trials as I normally would. And again, we had some people come back. We ended up picking up Dan as our assistant coach, and he, through him, and I met him through he's worked with Kyle Ruth. So we kind of had that connection there. And he's like, well, hey, I've got this guy out of the AGL who wants to play, which is the Atlantic Grid League up north. And we just kind of pieced together this team, and somehow we just all gelled. We just got together or got along really, really well. And I think it kind of came down to finding the right puzzle pieces for the team versus finding the best talent. And you can see that in not a lot, but some of the teams is they're full of studs, right? You gotta,
all the teams are.
Yeah. I mean, all the teams now are stupid good. If we'd played them in 2019, I would have not come back. It would have been bad. But yeah, I think everyone has said it, like all the teams, it can be anyone's race at this point. But I think the thing that pulls us through is we do have a team that is so cohesive. And if someone needs help, there's always someone there to dig them out of trouble.
And if someone's better in an element and we find that out through, practicing and chatting with each other and online videos, no one's going to be like, that's mine. You can't have that. I want to do that. So I think that the overall understanding that this is a team sport and an individual is not going to win this for us at any point. I think everyone understanding that is really important. And I think that's helped us grow as a team and just as friends, just like, you know what, I practiced that. I'm not as good as you. You're faster. Switch it up. And no, there's no hurt feelings. It's like, this is for the team. This is for all of us. This isn't, nobody's showing off. Nobody's, getting their feelings hurt if they get swapped out. It's for the team. And that's where we need you at that moment. That's where you go.
Yeah.
That's really important.
Well, you guys also have a very like a very different thing from the rest of the teams, I think, in that like how many of your players live in Gainesville?
Dez and Tracy.
There we go. Yeah, right. Like that's crazy impressive.
Work out together. We constantly sending each other videos like every day.
Yeah.
It's just 24/7, just sending each other, here's what I practiced. What did you do? And I think having that, like starting that relationship with the remote coaching, like having all this experience with remote coaching, I think has really helped. But I think it also helps that everyone has the accountability to send in their videos and say like, here's where I'm at. But yeah, if we got to work out together, I imagine that would be a huge help, but I don't think we need it necessarily, but I think it would be cool to be able to work out with everybody.
Yeah, I think that that's a massive advantage to the teams that, live in the same city.
Yeah.
Like I think that matters quite a bit because we're not nearly as spread out as you are, but we have players that are hours from each other. So getting together is pretty unrealistic most of the time. But you guys have like literally out of state.
Yeah, flights are involved.
Well, half the team.
Yeah, a lot of Texas.
So they get to practice.
That's a good point. Do they do like Texas practices?
Occasionally, yeah. They're putting together a Texas training camp. I think.
Yeah, they're also spread out in Texas. They're not necessarily that's not necessarily like super convenient for them either.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, Texas is a gigantic state. You could be in the same state and be like 7 hours away from each other, right?
But yeah, that is cool. But then when they do that, if we can't make it, we'll just FaceTime in and kind of join with the workouts and everything. So it's been working.
That's cool. I like personally, coming from like another coach, Adam, I think that's super impressive because like I know how challenging it is to get players on the same team, like to work towards the same goal. Yeah. Every once in a while, I get to yell at them in person. Like I couldn't imagine how much more challenging that would be when you're like only texting or calling or videoing,
What's nice is when we do send in or they send in videos, other like players don't hesitate to speak up and say, hey, like try this and see if this helps. Or, if
watch that lockout.
Yeah, watch the lockout. That's a lot. We got a lot of watching lockouts.
A lot of that.
But at least going in, we do have a few athletes or several athletes that have grid experience before the Florida Grid League. So like Laura Braun, she was on a team, which Phoenix. I think she was on the Phoenix team. Julie Rader was going to play for the Surge. RJ Hibbard was trying out for one of the teams. I can't recall which one. Blake wanted to try out for one of the teams. So we did have people with grid experience in their pocket. And that definitely helps getting them acclimated to the sport. And then them knowing some of the elements of the sport, like double touches, triple touches, transitions. Yeah, that's the biggest thing. And as coming from a coach your transitions as the Sharks are impeccable.
Yeah.
Like
we talk about that a lot.
Yeah,
if we could.
We talked about
together.
like you said the thruster transition you had in the last race.
Yeah, that's beautiful.
Like the smoothest thing I've ever seen. And I will never not be impressed by that flipper performance you had. It was so smart.
We were like,
no one knew what to do. We were like, wait.
Is it happening? It's happening.
Maybe they can do that. I think I literally, even Mather, the commissioner, was sitting there like, I don't know. We'll address this, but let it continue.
It was so obvious that no one had thought of that yet. No one had thought of that yet because they were all like, stop this. Keep going.
Explain. So for those who weren't there, Nick, just explain what your thought process was because it was so fantastic.
All right. So, some background. I remember in a conversation with Mather a long time ago, I had been asking him how waterfalling came about, right? Mm-hmm. And for anyone who doesn't know what I'm talking about, waterfalling is when like two athletes are doing, say, toes to bars next to each other. One person goes forward, one person goes backwards, and you can actually get like 2 reps in like half the time.
Reverse.
I'm sure there's, what's that?
Reverse synchro.
Yeah, right. Like, so instead of you going at the same time, you're alternating and you can get more reps because effectively only one portion of the movement counts as the movement or whatever, right? And he was telling me basically how that started because at the beginning of grid, that wasn't a thing, right? Somebody was looking at the rules and was like, oh, like based on the verbiage, this works. So they tried it and the refs couldn't tell them no because it fit the rules, Yeah. So that stuck with me. And I would say that every season we've tried at least one thing where at least one, there's been a couple we've done more than one, where the refs are genuinely like, I have no idea if that's allowed. And I usually go up to Mather or the commissioner Mather, or one of the head refs, and I'm like, heads up, we're gonna do this. If you don't tell me I can't, we're doing it. And we're rocking like a 50-50 success rate. The best part is generally the other coach flipping out as they're like, I'm pretty sure that's against the rules, but
flipping out.
So in this Echo, there was this thing called the flipper, which is like how do you guys explain that? It's similar to like a tire flip, but
CrossFit is like the pig.
The pig in the games.
And then if you don't know CrossFit, it's like a big square tire.
It's a coffin.
Big rectangle tire.
Yeah, a big, it's kind of like a coffin. It's like a big metal rectangle with weights on it, and you flip it one way and then you flip it back the other way. And you're supposed to have a guy and a girl out there flipping. And it's really heavy. So generally it's the guy is doing most of the flipping and then the girl's helping out like on occasional reps or on a change out. So we have a girl on our team named Jenna who is, I mean, if it weren't for you guys, I would say she's up there as the strongest female in the league. As far as just like brute strength goes, I mean, you have somebody who demolishes that, but like she's really strong. And we knew she could do more than the average girl could on this flipper. So we also realized that the rules did not disallow help on the flipper. It just said only one athlete could be working at a time. But if you look at like bar changeouts on like snatches and cleans, I think the same thing that they said would stop us from being able to do what we did would probably stop you from like passing the bar. Kind of like how you guys said like Julie and Blake pass the bar to each other. Yeah, like
handing the med ball back for med ball pull-ups.
Yeah, right. Like that same thought process.
You want to put it, someone can hand it up.
Exactly. That same thought process we felt should probably have allowed us to get away with what we did. So what we did was we had Jenna do about 80% of the lift, and then Francisco grab it and rip it past her.
Yeah.
And then we were like 10 or 12 reps behind them?
Yeah.
Yeah, and we caught up pretty fast.
I'm pretty sure it was pretty close. So I think you guys won that race. And
nobody could seem to tell who won, and that's what caused the exceptional freak out, which is pretty funny.
Everyone was in shock.
The entertainment value was near the roof.
It was excellent.
I actually went up to Mather beforehand, and I'm like, hey, so I just want to clarify, I'm allowed to do this, right? And he was like, yeah, because I laid out the same thought process I just gave you guys. And then Jamie, the coach of the Lions, walked up, and I was like, Mather, we're good, and I ran away. Like, I did not want to let her hear anything I was talking about.
Absolutely not. That's strategy.
You have to believe it. It wouldn't help to hear it.
you know the handstand. Well, sorry. So long story short, it ended up not counting. We got disqualified. I still kind of think it should count. Whatever. It was really fun.
It should be.
It should be, right. I remember watching everybody freak out. And I could see the Fort Lauderdale players looking at us, like crying, like, wow, why is that okay? And I just like looked away. I'm like, I can't let them see this smile out on my face right now. A couple years ago, the handstand walk, Jack and Jill.
Uh-huh.
I'm not 100% certain, but I think that we came up with the way everybody does it now, because we had practiced it behind the scenes, and nobody else, where like the two run across together. One's waiting on the other side, they tag the foot, and then they go. Yeah. Nobody else is doing that yet. I think Taylor saw us doing that in practice.
Yeah.
And then the next match, they were doing it too. That one worked. What the hell?
Yeah, that worked. You're right.
It's the same thing.
Whatever. So fair warning, refs, I'm going to try and break the rules next year too. We're going to do it every time. We're going to try and come up with something.
Push the limits. I wouldn't say break the rules.
That's a better way to put it. We're going to attempt to not break the rules by what we do.
Make more rules, but you're not.
Exactly. Okay. So what do you two individually as coaches and players, right? What do you guys most enjoy about grid?
You go first.
I don't want to go first.
Okay.
I'm not ready.
I enjoy the strategy. As a coach, you and I have talked about this before. I'm super stressed leading up to the match. Like the week before, I'm waking up in the middle of the night thinking about, do I have this person in the right spot? That part's horrible. But I love the strategy of, this is basically like a chess game. Do I have the right pieces in the right place? can I counter this athlete with this athlete? So it's a lot more of a mind game for me. Obviously, I'm not out on the floor. So once we start the race, it's like I'm way less worried. I'm way less stressed. I'm like, I've done everything I can, from here. If I need to, I'll just do damage control. But at that point, it's kind of like I get to sit back and kind of watch the race and watch the athletes perform. So that's definitely the most fun part for me, is just making basically the gamesmanship of making sure I have everyone in the right spot.
It's a game for you. We're just your pawns.
Yeah. Thank you.
The first season, the year we did not understand the assignment, I played in every single race and I did not enjoy it at all. Because I wasn't doing a very good job, because I was not prepared for all the things I was supposed to be doing. But I think as we started to understand the sport and started doing our homework, and now, so these people in 2019 wouldn't have recognized to even say to you, Nick, wow, your transitions are amazing. Like, we wouldn't have known that was even a thing. It would just looked like a blur of people. We couldn't even focus on like what was even happening. But now that we've been studying it for so long, and we can see exactly where you make changes and where other people make transitions and where we can speed things up. So I think I'm just a person that likes learning. So I think learning about this it's never going to stop, because you're never going to stop trying weird things. And everyone's going to keep doing, pushing the limits and getting better at things. Like, oh, you think you're the fastest at whatever, at triple touches, this person's faster, just finding different ways. So I think I also sort of thrive at being in the middle and helping from behind the scenes. I'm not a strength specialist, it turns out. So I do like being a utility player. But if you had told me that in 2019, it would have been like, oh, that sounds like I'm just gonna be doing burpees. And you know what? I am just doing burpees. But I like doing burpees now, because it's helping get the next, helping get Sam to do 3 rope climbs in 9 seconds. After I finish my stupid little burpees. So I do like being sort of layered in there to do some stuff so that the people who are really strong and people who are really climby and really super talented are going to get to their next thing and be done before I can even catch my breath from my little burpees. But yeah, that's the part I like about it, the team. Yes.
I like how you say little burpees. What you don't understand is that nobody else wants to do those. You're saving somebody from dying.
Yeah, I like that I'm better at them now, so I can actually, I feel useful. I like to feel useful. I don't like to feel like let me try this thing I might fuck up for everyone. I like to be I can do these really fast, and then they'll be over, and then we can move on with our lives and never think about them again. And it's always burpee somethings. But that's okay, because that's important, because it's part of the race. They're not going anywhere. Burpees are not leaving anytime soon. So here we are.
Sadly. Yeah, sadly. Des, this will be a really interesting question for you, I think. So with Adam, you don't get to answer this one. With the change in match styles, right? Where they went from basically 2 hours to 1 hour, and then 11 races to 7-ish, right? Obviously all of our playing times have gone down, right?
Yeah.
How do you feel about that as a player?
I feel, again, I was just so underprepared for the first season. I think that it's more exciting. So if grid wants this to become really a spectator kind of sport, I think it's way more exciting to have somebody doing a couple things really fast, switching somebody out, coming back in. I don't really think anybody wants to watch someone doing 60 of something. So I think kind of the speed of the new format is better for entertainment purposes. It's definitely more fun. I do so much less now than I did in the first season that it's hard for me to say if it's because of that or because we have such a good team now. But my role is very small. I'm recovered almost instantly. I'm in better shape from 2019, but I also am not doing every race. That's never going to happen again. So I think it's a better format, and I think it is because it's more entertaining. And I do think that as far as the way that it goes, the way that the whole match turns out, I think is more fun for everyone, I think.
Yeah. So even if your role is smaller, it's more defined now, right?
Yeah, for sure.
Yeah. I know that as a player, as my player side, I enjoy that a little bit better too. I enjoy knowing all right, this is probably what I'm relied on for.
Right.
Not everything. Right.
Yeah. Much less of a chance of you getting called back out to finish some 45 to 60 of whatever. I feel like it's
Adam, what
just-
about you? So as a coach, how do you feel about that?
I like it. I think it lets your specialist shine. You know, the mixed gender echoes, I think, have been a huge improvement. Obviously, you know, you can't rely on one gender, but, you know, some teams in the past have gotten away with having a really strong women's team. That was a great example of the championship team was made of really strong women. But now you can't hide behind that. Now you have to have, you know, a really strong starting lineup essentially, because you can't just rely on your women to take both echoes and then take the triad. You know, there's 6 points for you right there. So it's a little more inclusive of a more cohesive team, I believe. And like Des said, the transitions, having, again, the echoes as an example, having 10 people instead of 5 people available to do the work, you have so much more depth and speed, because now, I think you guys said in one of your passes, now instead of having 3 or 4 assignments, you have 1, maybe 2. So you're going to go out and you're going to hit it so much harder, just knowing that, okay, I've got 20 pull-ups or I've got 20 box overs, and I'm going to go as hard as I can, and I'm going to get off the floor so my next teammate can come on. So I think it makes the races much more entertaining, you know?
Yeah, I agree with that. We decided that it did not benefit us, but it does still make the sport better. Like, I enjoy it more that way.
Is it because that's not the format you guys were used to, kind of thing?
Yeah. I mean, I think maybe you guys might have benefited a little bit from, and I mean this honestly, like just not having been ingrained in that format, you know?
Yeah.
Like it was a little bit easier transition, whereas we're trying to break 3-year-old habits, you know, 4-year-old habits, 5-year-old habits.
Yeah, no, that makes sense.
But you know, that, like, kudos to you. That's not a shot. That's adaptation is what makes the sport great. So
For sure.
okay, so you guys actually just eliminated us a couple weeks ago, you jerks, on the way to the playoffs, right? We had a match against you, and then we played against Orlando afterwards, and then you guys had a fantastic match against Tampa that we all watched. That was really fun to watch. You're rolling into the playoffs, tied with the Southeast Palms. You guys have the best record, right? 4-0. What are your thoughts? Because on October 9th, you're going to play possibly 2 more matches and then maybe win a championship. What are your guys' thoughts leading up to that?
I mean, the job's not done. We still got 2 matches, and then we can relax. But I mean, if you watch that Tampa match, it was back and forth the whole match. I mean, you know, for the first time, we went into a ladder, and I was like, I threw the flag, and I was like, oh no, I should not have done that. And that's the first time we've had that issue in the ladder. So that was concerning. And then we had a tied ringer point that I for sure thought we were going to take. And I was like, ooh, this is not how I planned the first half of this match going. So, you know, we had to pull ourselves together. I had to, you know, I went into it a little more relaxed, actually, honestly, was one of the issues is we're already 3-0, you know, the outcome of this race doesn't really matter. So let's go out, let's polish up the team and go from there. And then I guess, you know, I wanted it to go 4-0. I was like, yeah, it'd be great. But I was like, we also don't need to. So I think halfway through the match, I was like, what am I doing? I need to focus up on this. And even one of my players said, he's like, what? Like, we are playing a really good team. This is a great chance for us to practice and for you to practice what it's like playing against a really good team right now. So focus up. And I was like, you know what? You're right.
Yeah, Blake was like, do you want to strategize against a team that might actually beat us? Because it's about to happen. He's
Yeah.
like, oh, shit.
So
yeah,
it was a very close match. I think one of the only other teams that have given us that close of a match was the Palms, because we played them twice in the tournament last year. And I believe both races came down to 1 or 2 points. And they're studs this year. So I fully expect them to be waiting for us on the other side in the championship. So we'll see what happens there. But we're definitely not relaxed. We got to focus. We got 2 more races if we want to win. And it's important, you know, we feel like we should have won the tournament. You know, the Lions just outperformed us, and we won't let that happen again.
Cool. I know I'm looking forward to it. I'll be there. Not playing this time, but I'll be spectating. I'll be hanging out.
Coach, your nomination right here for you.
Yes.
You'll be at All-Star.
I don't know about that. We'll see. But all right, so back to you guys' gym, right? I like to end all the podcasts like this. So if somebody was thinking about signing up with you guys, right, or they were thinking about like getting started on their fitness journey, right, and they were scared to do it, what would you tell them?
You just got to come in and meet us. You got to come in. You got to step out of your comfort zone, be brave for 10 seconds, and then you'll be fine, right? It's definitely a scary thing to start a new program. It's scary to step into a room with, anywhere between 5 to 10 people you don't know. But I promise you, it's going to be one of the best things you've done. You're going to get in the best shape you've ever been in. You're going to feel great. Des is going to make you drink a lot of water.
I'm so annoying with the water.
And you're going to pee a lot.
That's true.
It's my life now. But I feel better.
See.
I do feel better. And you're going to make a lot of friends. So just come in, try us out. I promise we won't let you down. And we'll go from there.
I feel like the hardest part is reaching out. So if you've already recognized that you want training, you've already recognized that you want to change something, that's the hardest part, honestly, not coming into the door. The fact that you reached out at all, whatever was an email, called us. So you kind of have to, I learned from HSN. I heard people saying before, like, you have to learn someone's love language. And I was like, that doesn't sound like that's for me. I'm not like that. Like, I don't want to know what your love language is. Like, leave me alone. But actually, it does make sense to learn someone. I wish it was called something else, but someone's love language. You have to like know how to talk to somebody, so it doesn't sound like you're either talking at them or talking down to them. And you just have to like find out what they want and then say, we can do that, and then explain it to them in the way they want to hear it, and not say like, you need to work out because we're all getting older. We need to start working out. Like, don't just start saying facts to them. Just say like, what are you looking for? And here's how we can provide that for you, kind of thing. And it's not going to be the same. There's not the same dialogue for every person, for sure. That sort of like boot camp mentality that works when like the guys are working out together with the screaming, like that doesn't work on me. Like if I'm lifting and he starts like screaming about it, I'm like, I will go home. Like I can't. So I think you just have to like learn someone's love language and then use it, and then kind of just know that this is a program that is adaptive for every single person. So use it as a way to evolve our program.
Awesome. Guys, anything else you want me to bring up?
Nope.
Cool. Okay. Thank you so much for your time, guys. If people wanted to find you on like social media or your gym or wherever, how would they do that?
Go ahead.
352fitness.com. Our Instagram is 352fitness_nutrition. Is that right?
352_fitness_nutrition.
Oh God, they'll never find us because I don't know it.
Just type 352 fitness and nutrition.
352 fitness and nutrition. I hand out stickers because I am really bad at technology. My Instagram stories are the depth of my internet's skills.
What about for the Gainesville Wild? How would they find you?
Gainesville Wild. You can go through the Florida Gridley website, so the FGL.com. You could find us through there, or you could do the Gainesville Wild on Instagram.
Awesome. Guys, thank you so much for your time.
Thank you, Nick.
All right, thanks for hanging out with us today on the Shark Bite Show. If you'd like to get a hold of us, you can find us on Facebook or Instagram at Shark Bite Fitness and Nutrition, or on our website at sharkbitefitness.com. If you'd like to find out more about our guests, their information will be in the show notes. If you'd like to talk to us about getting more fit, feel free to schedule a free no sweat intro at one of our locations in Cape Coral, Fort Myers, or Naples, Florida.